Let me give you a bit of an update on what I think is next with the car. So I had intended just to start to bolt all the suspension back on and obviously the steering rack. The bolts that locate the steering rack in place, which go through those holes, just, I don't know if you can see them. They are, whoops, going to have to bring the camera back a bit. Don't think they're coming into view. Oh yeah, they are, just there. That's where that's the one on this side. There's a pair of them. Apparently they're one-time use bolts, so I'm going to have to order some new bolts for those. Yeah, so I had intended on just screwing it all back together, but I'd been debating about doing the flywheel, putting the light and flywheel on. Now, I had said that I didn't care about the speed of it for the moment because I was going to use it as a track day car this year, and it was just the handling that I cared about because I just want to practice, lines around corners and etc. And so, the fact it's got a dual mass flywheel, does it really matter? And that was a good theory until I was talking to Anthony Seddon, and I always ask his advice on this stuff, and him and Rob at 4040. Anthony said he agreed. He said it will make a difference to the acceleration, and Rob said the same. He said they rev more freely, obviously, with a lighter flywheel. But what Anthony said was, he said he'd driven a car around a track with a dual mass flywheel, and he said, when you go into a corner and you want to tuck the nose in, and so you lift off a bit, so that the weight shifts to the front of the car. He said his experience was that you get this funny surge. It starts to shift to the front of the car, then you get this funny power surge. And it upsets the handling. So that sort of put me off a bit. So that made me lean towards putting the lightweight flywheel on. But the added pressure I've got is that the car is booked to have the roll cage fitted in the 3rd week of March, and today is what is it? It's something like I think it's the 10th of February. So I've got about a month, and in that month I've got to change the flywheel, and obviously that means the gearbox has got to come out. Also, to change the flywheel, you have to take the starter motor out to get the gearbox off, and all of this inlet manifold stuff has got to come off, which is scaring me a bit. So I've got to get all of that off. I've got to get the starter motor out, pull the gearbox off the back of the engine, do the flywheel. I'll do the clutch while I'm there, and then start bolting it back together. The alternative was I put the prop shaft back on, I put all the exhaust back on. I've got to get it MOT'd as well. So I put all that back on, I take it to be MOT'd, I take it to get the roll cage fitted, and then I start taking it all apart again, and that really didn't sort of appeal to me. So I think I'm going to go with the option of doing the flywheel right now. I've got an added pressure in that on Saturday, the February 26th, I've got a test day with 4040 at Donington, so that weekend's going to be messed up. So I think I'm going to have to take a couple of days off of work to get this done in time. There's obviously lots more to do. You can see that the oil filter housing is still the original, and I need the one with the cooler plate on the side. So that's got to be done. Probably not, well, I don't need to do the fire extinguisher and electric cutout to get it MOT'd and get the roll cage fitted. So I've pushed those back, even though I've had the fire extinguisher here for flipping months. So I've pushed that back. I don't need to do that. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a race now.